FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover today asserted that the Black Panthers represent the greatest internal threat to the nation.
They were called the greatest internal threat to the nation. People called them criminals and people called them heroes. This is the Black Panther Party, which started as a small organization fighting police brutality in the summer of 1966. It quickly grew to become a nationally known Black Power organization that advocated for armed resistance against the government. The party experienced tremendous repression from President Richard Nixon and the FBI, and unraveled only years after it was started. Between 1966 and 1982, the Black Panther Party took a stand against racial inequality and oppression, which highlighted racial problems in America. Taking a stand against racism, the Black Panther Party and revolution in the 60s. Years before the formation of the Black Panther Party, during the Civil Rights Movement, activists fought legal segregation and expanded black rights. For many, the Civil Rights Movement didn't give blacks the housing, employment, education, or political power they wanted. It was during this call for black power in 1966 that the Black Panther Party was created. The Black Panther Party was created by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. Both went to Merritt College and joined the Seoul Students Advisory Council. Together, they started policing the police. In order to observe and hopefully stop police brutality in Oakland, the first few Black Panthers started patrolling the police, pointing loaded, unconcealed guns at them. This was legal because of a California law in 1966. Policing the police for several months got the Black Panthers a small following. The Black Panthers set up rallies and created a newspaper. They started to wear the iconic beret and black leather jacket. The Black Panther Party grew because they were actively taking a stand against racism and using armed self-defense against the police. In order to stop the Panthers policing the police tactic, Assemblyman Don Mulford proposed an act that would make it illegal to carry loaded firearms in public. On May 2, 1967, the day the Mulford Act was to be proposed, 30 Black Panthers went to Sacramento with loaded guns.
Take careful note of the racist California legislature, which is now considering legislation aimed at keeping the black people disarmed.
From the start, the Black Panther Party was taking a stand against police brutality in new and creative ways. By policing the police, holding rallies, attracting media attention, and protesting a bill at the Capitol with loaded guns. By doing this, they highlighted the issue of police brutality. With the Mulford Act passed, the Black Panthers' strategy of carrying guns was outlawed.
We've got to protect society from nuts with guns.
Newton wanted to organize Black America into a coherent military force. They would represent the black community. Huey Newton and Bobby Seale made a 10-point plan, laying out what the Black Panthers want. This included an end to police brutality, as well as better employment, housing, education. There were demands for freedom and justice. The 10-point platform was first published in each issue of the Black Panther. With the 10-point plan, the party was laying out exactly what they were taking a stand against. On the morning of October 27, 1967, 5 months after the March on Sacramento, Huey Newton was pulled over by Officer John Frey of the Oakland Police. The accounts of what happened are conflicting, but Huey was shot in his abdomen, Officer Frey was killed, and Huey Newton was arrested as the prime suspect in his murder. This began the huge campaign, Free Huey.
We say and mean that we want Huey P. Newton set free. Black people in this nation want Huey P. Newton to be set free. White people on the radical and left and liberals want Huey P. Newton to be set free. Peoples of the world are demanding that Huey P. Newton be set free. That Huey P. Newton must be set free or the sky's the limit around the world.
In the eyes of the Panthers, Huey Newton was defending himself against police brutality when Officer Frey was killed. Through the Free Huey campaign, they were taking a stand against police brutality and highlighting this issue. By December 1968, the Panthers were hugely influential. In 1968, with Huey Newton in jail, Bobby Seale took control of the party. In 1969, the Black Panthers started programs that would help the black community. Through these programs, the Black Panthers would take a stand against the insufficiency of government programs and socioeconomic inequality. The Black Panther Party started the Free Breakfast for Children program in Oakland in September 1968. Panthers prepared food early in the day that was donated by businesses. By 1971, there had been at least 36 breakfast programs in 23 cities. In addition to the breakfast programs, other initiatives were started, like free healthcare clinics and the free busing to prison program, which connected prisoners with their families. There were many other initiatives started by the party. The Black Panther Party's community programs highlighted issues in the black community and directly took a stand against these issues. Huey Newton wrote that the survival programs, quote, help us to organize the community around a true analysis and understanding of their situation. The breakfast programs exposed the issues of hunger and poverty in America. After the Panthers' well-known and widespread programs, government-sponsored programs grew. This is also true of the health programs. Many blacks were poorly served by the healthcare system. The Black Panthers highlighted this issue and provided a solution. With the free busing to prison program, the Black Panthers highlighted the injustices in the incarceration of black people. The Black Panther Party was constantly taking a stand against racial inequality and highlighting cases of injustice. By the end of 1968, the Black Panther Party was hugely influential and nationally known. It was at this time that FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover started his mission to take down the Black Panther Party. He had already been running the FBI's counterintelligence program, or COINTELPRO. An FBI internal memo in September 1968 targeted the Panthers. It is essential we accelerate our investigation, increase our informants, disrupt the group, create factionalism, neutralize all organizational efforts, create suspicion amongst the leaders. On November 9, 1968, Richard Nixon was elected president. Nixon emphasized to Hoover the importance of stopping the Black Panther Party. On July 15, 1969, Hoover publicly announced that, quote, the Black Panther Party, without question, represents the greatest threat to the internal security of the country. The FBI was very concerned about the Free Breakfast for Children program. Hoover wrote about the program, they are actively soliciting and receiving support from uninformed whites and moderate blacks. Through forged letters and propaganda, the FBI tried to dissuade churches and businesses from helping with the program. There were raids of the breakfast programs, health clinics, and Panther offices. There was a shootout at the LA Panther headquarters after 75 police officers raided the office. Police and Panthers exchanged fire. The police could not break into the Panther fortress, but eventually the Panthers waved a white flag and the shooting stopped. The FBI repression of the party and shootings only fostered more support and funding to the party. There were protests against the raids of offices. The Panthers also got a lot of support when party leader Fred Hampton was killed by police in his home, and when Bobby Seale was arrested for conspiracy and incitement to riot. Activists took a stand through rallies, protests, and independent investigations. The Black Panther Party used the repression by the FBI, the shooting of Fred Hampton, and the arrest of Bobby Seale to grow support of the party and highlight injustices in the black community. The decline of the Black Panther Party began when they lost support of their three important groups of moderate allies. They had thrived because of the support from blacks, opponents of the Vietnam War, and international revolutionary governments such as China and Algeria. However, in 1969 and 1970, these groups began to stop supporting the party's revolutionary anti-imperialist ideas because they didn't need to. Starting in 1969, blacks got more political representation and opportunities. Anti-war groups were appeased when the government called for a withdrawal of troops from Vietnam. International governments in China and Algeria didn't need the support of Panther's revolutionary ideas, as the US government formed relations with these countries. The Black Panther Party could not maintain its support from these groups. However, it still needed support to withstand the repression from the state. There was a split in the party. Some Black Panthers wanted to practice armed self-defense, start the revolution, and reject law and order. On the other hand, the National Black Panther Organization knew they needed allies and donors, so they made rules for the Panthers in order to maintain discipline. The national organization stopped emphasizing armed rebellion and demilitarized their image, focusing on community programs. On the other hand, factions of Black Panthers called for immediate warfare against the state. Without allied support for their revolutionary politics, and without any political power, the Black Panther Party unraveled. It became Oakland-based and eventually closed its last office in 1982. The Panthers took a stand against racial inequality and oppression, which highlighted racial problems in America. They set a precedent for revolution. It is clear in current politics and culture how the Black Panthers have left a legacy. The way they looked and talked, their assertiveness and divisiveness, the way they used art, writing, and media to their advantage, all of this will paint the landscape of politics and culture for years to come. And it was all in the name of taking a stand.